Valley Radio is your concert station. Mike and the Moonpies. You look good in neon. Of course, the guys go by a new name, Silverada, these days. And you know what? You're going to keep on hearing about it till it sinks in that thick skull of yours. Because get ready. They're coming to the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo this Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I believe it's a noon show, just to make sure I get everything right. With me on the phone from Mike and the Moonpies, now Silverada, Mike Harmeier. Welcome. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, man? It's great to have me on today, I'm sure.
It is great to have you on, and I'm totally stoked. This is exciting. My first time talking to you guys, and I dig what you guys do, so this is definitely a treat. So we're getting the opportunity to talk to you while you guys are kind of in flux. Big deal in the Mike and the Moonpies camp, because you guys just changed your name, right?
Yeah, we did it last week ago, or I don't know, man. Time has been crazy since we did it. So we did it down in Key West at the Mile Zero Fest, and it was pretty successful, man. It was months of planning and get it all taken care of, but we've been wanting to do it for a long time, and it's been on our minds for a long time. So we were ready to make that change, and we're very happy with it and stoked for the future.
Now, I'm going to ask you a little bit more about that in just a moment, but just kind of as a backstory, because I feel like with Mike and the Moonpies, either you know everything about you guys because your fans are super, rabid, or you're kind of like a little obscure. So in your own words, I'm not going to, do the whole big run the gamut of interview questions, but in your own words, give us your brief history of Mike and the Moonpies, now Silverada.
Well, we started about 2007. I was, had a little band in Austin, and I wanted to play the Broken Spoke is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do dance hall gigs and do the dance hall Texas circuit. And so we kind of started to do that, man. We created like a 4-hour set, a lot of covers, I was writing some songs, but we had to pepper them in there so we could keep people on the dance floor. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of our job to do that for a while, and we spent a lot of years doing that Texas dance hall circuit, and it went very well. And then we started making records and taking it outside of Texas and doing the entire country and now the world. And it's really evolved, and the band has evolved, and the songs have evolved, and my writing has evolved. And we wanted something to kind of take us into the future with this thing, because we're not really doing those cover shows anymore, and we have almost 10 records in the can, that are out now. So, we're just trying to make this thing last forever. And our sound is bigger than it ever has been, and our shows are bigger, and we have so many sing-alongs at the shows now. It's just it's been a whirlwind from when it started back in the 2000s. So it's a brand new day for us.
For those who aren't too familiar with your work, I kind of you guys have anthems, you guys got everyman songs. In a nutshell, how would you describe your songwriting style? And if you can, tell me how it's evolved over the years.
Well, yeah, man, it's working man stuff. I write about the tropes, that we all kind of deal with, and I've always done working man and barroom songs, and I still do that, man. And I used to really write to the set. We got really good at figuring out what was going to work in a night, and how to keep a crowd on the dance floor, or whatever we needed to do to have a successful show. So I did that for years, man, where I was writing, okay, this would fit really good. This would be a really good song to open a show with, or close a show with, or something to bring it down with. So I did that for a long time, and lately I feel like, man, I've gotten a little tired of just kind of playing to that, and I wanted to do something that felt more like me naturally, and more a little bit more artistic and edgier than we were doing before. And so I kind of threw the rule book out here lately, and wrote 10 songs that I definitely still write about some of the same stuff, but I'm doing a little bit more linear writing now, and stuff that kind of lets the band play a little bit more, and we can jam a little bit more, and make the show and the records a little bit more dynamic. So throwing out the rule book for me has been a big change, and we did that in the studio too. So we recorded that way also. So it's definitely evolving, but I wouldn't say it's changing. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, are you speaking of One to Grow On? That's the latest release, as far as I know. Or are we talking about brand new material that's to come?
Brand new material. So One to Grow On, our latest one, has been a huge success for us, man. That has had legs, man. And our song "Hour on the Hour" was a big hit off of that record, and that's still going strong. But we've got a brand new single out now called "Wallflower" that's going to be on our self-titled record that's going to come out in June of this year. And so we got 10 brand new songs, and we're playing 3 or 4 of them in the show now, honestly. So you get to hear some brand new stuff if you come out to a show.
No, I don't have that brand new single, which I've got to get my hands on that. I do have Hour on the Hour. That's the latest one that we've been playing from you guys. So we'll probably wrap up and do that one. But you got to promise to help me get my hands on the new stuff. But let's talk about, the live show. So you guys are playing the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Well, first of all, have you guys ever played the rodeo before in San Antonio?
No, I haven't. I've
Wow.
done, several of those. I've done all the rodeo gigs in Texas, but usually I'm outside in the parking lot. You know what I mean? So it's been really, really exciting to be invited inside and do the real show. It's rodeo season, man. We love it. We're going to do Houston and San Antonio, and we're just been excited. I know my guitar player has played there once, and he's had great things to say. So we're just stoked to be inside.
My instinct is to ask you if you're nervous about the big crowd, but I'm sure you guys have played huge shows. You were just at Mile Zero. Go give me some highlights, man. You guys have been doing this for a long time. You played great crowds. Any just moments that you were on stage? I know you guys have played the Grand Ole Opry, I believe. Give me some highlights of some of those stages that you've been on.
Yeah, man. Well, you kind of nailed it there. Like you said, we did the Mile Zero Fest, which is a huge festival for us. We have a lot of impact there at that festival, so it's a lot of fun. But that feels like we're right at home. And then this past couple of years, we've gotten to do awesome things, like you said, the Grand Ole Opry, which I think was the most nervous show that I've ever played. It was only 2 songs,
right?
But it was hallowed ground. And we also got to do Ryman last year. We opened for Jason Boland and Reckless Kelly there, and that was just unforgettable night for us too. That held almost more weight than the Opry to me, and we got to do a full set there. So that was awesome, and the crowd response was great. A lot of people from Texas came out to Nashville that night, and we're getting to do it again. So our big album release on July 5th is going to be our first headlining show at the Ryman. So we're going to get back in there and do our full show there, full 90 minutes, and bring all the stuff. And I think we're going to pack the house with a lot of Texans that night too, man. So we're excited to get back into the Ryman and show them what we got.
Now, it's obviously you guys are a Texas regional favorite. You've been out to Florida, obviously, and Tennessee. But what are some other crazy places you guys have played, like, far and wide, long distance from good old Texas?
Last year in April, we did an entire month overseas. It was
Wow.
We did Germany and we did England and Switzerland. We were out for a whole month. It was a long run over there, and we had some great shows, man. I mean, the people really appreciate what we do over there just as much as here, and it's really incredible to get to go and do that across the world. And that was our second time over to Europe, our first full tour. We'd done some festivals prior to that, actually, when we went over to make our Cheap Silver and Solid Country Gold record in London at Abbey Road. We did some festivals over there, too, as well. So that's been really incredible experience, and I hope we get to go back and do some European stuff again next year.
Now, you mentioned Abbey Road, so I'm looking at your credentials, your bio, and I'm seeing Yellow Dog Studio, and then I'm seeing Abbey Road, and I'm like, oh my God! I mean, how did that feel, getting over there and just stepping into that studio, and then not only just visiting and touring it, but recording? Any cool stories from that experience?
Well, yeah, man. It's crazy because it's pretty much the same as like when the Beatles were working there, and
Yeah.
the room is the same, and the instruments are the same. We played on the same piano, the Mrs. Mills piano that was used on all the Beatles records, and I got to sing into John Lennon's microphone, and it was epic, man. And we only had 2 days to make that record. We had to fly out and go do a show with Turnpike, I think, in like Montana. So we flew out from London to go to Montana. So we had to crush that whole record in 2 days. So it was kind of get in there, feel the vibe of the room, and get try to keep your brain from exploding from the weight and the history of that room, and get to work. So it was an incredible experience, man, that I think none of us will obviously ever forget. We're just really proud of that record and how it played to the public too, because we took a lot of chances on that record, and we're just very stoked with the turnout.
Now, I kind of feel like playing the Grand Ole Opry and recording in Abbey Road. I mean, what's left on the bucket list, Mike? I mean, what are we still striving for? Just to bring that music out to the masses, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, we just want to play it for more people, and we want to do it for the rest of our lives. I mean, the big thing for us, the things I can think off the top of my head is I've never done a Red Rock show. I would love to do that.
Uh-huh.
I've never done an Austin City Limits taping. I would love to do that. So, and those things seem fairly achievable to me right now. So right now we've kind of got our eyes focused on a couple of big things like that. But from a bird's eye view, man, yeah, we just want to do this forever and have as many people hear it and dig it as we can.
Fantastic. Again, we're talking to Mike Harmeier. He's from Mike and the Moonpies are now going by Silverada. They're performing at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo at the Frostbank Center in San Antonio this Sunday at noon. So that's going to be your pre-Super Bowl party with Silverada. Now, Mike, real quick before we talk about the name change a little bit more in depth, tell me about the band. Give the guys a shout out and tell me how much you love these guys and what they bring to the table.
Well, man, these guys are diehards, man. These guys are lifers and have been with me a lot from the beginning. I've had Zach Moulton on pedal steel since the very beginning of this band, and Catlin Rutherford on guitar since the very beginning. Taylor English on drums, he's the newest guy, and Omar Aoki's the showman of the band on bass. And a lot of my guys, man, we're stoked about San Antonio Rodeo. A lot of these guys grew up around there, and my guitar player lives in Uvalde.
That's
and my steel player is down in Kingsville, and Omar's down in Mercedes, down in the Valley. So, man, a lot of family coming out to the rodeo, and supporting these guys as they always have. So it's exciting, man, and these guys are stoked. We're stoked for the future. We're happy about how long we've been able to do this and make it successful in our eyes at least.
And I didn't want to fanboy out and bring up the fact that you got, people in Uvalde around, in these parts. But since you brought it up, how often do you guys get down to Uvalde? How much do you know about it and how much do you love it?
Man, well, we love it a lot, dude. I've spent a lot of time down there at Catlin's place. His parents used to own the Purple Sage out there in Uvalde. Yeah. And so we get to hang out and share old stories, about the Purple Sage. And he always has some great stories about that stuff. And we've played down there before. I've opened for, I think, Asleep at the Wheel down there before, and I believe Stoney LaRue. And we don't get down there as much as we want to play shows, but I go fishing with Gatlin down there. His place quite a bit. but it's a lot of fun, man. We always have a good time in Uvalde, and Catlin is a hometown boy, and he's very proud of where he comes from.
Well, we got House Pasture over in Concan, but outside of that, there's not much, in the ways of venues in Uvalde anymore. So, you guys get some downtime or some extra funds, maybe a revamping of a Purple Sage or some kind of dance hall would be great, something to invest in.
Yeah, I think that would be great, man. I mean, we've done House Pasture a bunch of times, and we love it down there. We usually make a whole week or a weekend out of it. And get on the river too, whenever there's any water in there. But I would love to come and do some real big shows down in Uvalde, and I know Catlin would love that too.
Fantastic. We'd love to have you guys back here. Again, we got Mark Harmeier from Mike and the Moonpies, which is now Silverada. So let's go ahead and unpack it. I know you've done a ton of interviews already about the name change, but I feel like if you're gonna get into it, you're gonna have to kind of just grin and bear it for a while, at least anyway. I remember when Kinko's changed their name to FedEx. That transition was hard on a lot of people for a lot of reasons. So I'm sure you guys thought long and hard and weighed all the options. First of all, you mentioned this earlier at the top that you've been thinking about changing the name for a while. So what made you pull the trigger and give us as many details about the name change as you can?
Well, yeah, man, it has been a long time coming, and that's why I can speak so passionately about it, and I don't mind doing interviews and talking about it because it's just been on my mind for years, and the whole band for that matter. We decided that now is a good time. We have a brand new record in the can that kind of pushes some boundaries for us, and we've got more traction now than we ever have had before, and we don't want to have any missteps, and we want to, like I said, secure this for our future forever, and we didn't want to shoot ourselves in the foot, and I've had some issues with the name change in the past. Some radio PDs honestly wouldn't play the stuff because of the name, which is ridiculous. But it's very regional, and we're not really the same band as we were when we started. When I started doing the dance hall circuit, it kind of served its purpose. We were doing a lot of covers, and I thought that this name kind of evoked some of the feelings we were trying to evoke and sell people on what we were doing back then. But that's not really the game we're playing anymore. And we just felt like it was the right time, and we couldn't be more excited about it, and I know the guys are happy to not be introduced as the Moonpies anymore. And so many people come up and say, "Oh, so if you're Mike, these guys must be the Moonpies," and I think that kind of irks the guys. But,
may as well call them Blowfish, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that we're just happy. We're just happy to have something fresh and a new outlook, and we feel like it's a brand new world where we can kind of take the bull by the horns here and do what we want to do, and we're really approaching this thing as more of an entire band.
Yeah.
With the music and the stuff that we're writing, it's not really me and these guys; it's all of us together. So we wanted something singular to kind of identify ourselves with, and that's where we landed.
Now, how did you land on Silverada? And if there were any other options that kind of made the short list, please divulge some of those.
Well, there were a few. I mean, we went through hundreds of names probably, and we wanted something that was one word really, and we wanted something that had a Texas feel, but not really. Like ZZ Top was a band from Texas. They weren't a Texas band, So we kind of chased that down a little bit, and really we felt like the band really started to evolve when we made the Cheap Silver record in London, and Cheap Silver was originally, before it was a song, it was one of our choices for a band name. We were going to go by Cheap Silver. We love Cheap Silver tequila, so that was kind of we wanted to hang on to that silver part a little bit, and then so from that record on to One to Grow On, which I pretty much wrote based on my 85 Chevy Silverado that I haven't been working on for years. And we kind of put the whole thing together, and put those two records together and came up with Silverada as something good to identify us. And we feel like still, like I said, does evoke who we are now. And, it makes a little bit more sense to us. And, it's a singular word, man, and it's our word. And we're just, man, we couldn't be happier about it.
Now, is the transition tougher than you might have thought about? I mean, I would think that, domain names and merchandising and, all this stuff. What's been some of the headaches involved, the behind the scenes stuff that you guys have really had to kind of dig into for the name change?
Yeah, it's crazy because we planned this out for a long, long time, and me and my wife had really worked a lot behind the scenes to make all this go as smoothly as possible. And so the actual execution of the event and the show and everything and doing all that, we had an interview with Rolling Stone that day, and everything like that went off without a hitch. And then you get into the back end, and like you say, socials and all that stuff got a little bit more difficult than we expected. And Meta is a hard nut to crack. And trying to get our name changes over, because we had like the blue check marks and all these things for the Moonpies. So it was very difficult. And there's no one to call at Meta. There's no support team there. So we had to end up finding some people that knew somebody that worked for Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And we're still in the process of getting that done, but we got our Instagram finally changed over like 2 days ago. So it's taking time. It's a little clunkier than we wanted it to be. And we're also merging all of our streaming accounts for all of our music too. So that's all in the process of happening. So it's taken a little longer than we wanted to, but we still feel like we're going to get it done, and it's all going to look really clean and fresh at the end. So just got to have a little patience, us and the fans have a little patience in the transition.
Well, I feel like there might even be some accidental resistance from other people. Like, for instance, the San Antonio Rodeo website still has you listed as Mike of the Moonpies, but then you kind of gotta, you've got to kind of understand that they're trying to sell your tickets and they need that name recognition as well too. So I'm sure there's kind of a grace period that you got to give everybody just to kind of get the news out. And at what point, when somebody calls you Mike and the Moonpies, do you give them a hard look or a big old eye roll?
I don't think that'll happen. I mean, we understand, where it comes from, and we anticipate all these things too,
Yeah.
and we're here to, promote and sell tickets also. So we have no problem with, using formerly Mike and the Moonpies or whatever. We're prepared to do that for a year at least, if it takes, makes promoters and venues happy to do that and makes the shows more successful, then we're happy to do that. We want to lose the moniker of the Moonpies hopefully by the end of the year altogether. But we're strapped in for a long transition, and I think it's going to be fine. I think that it helps us out in the long run, and I'm sure that there's going to be times where I'm on stage and I slip up and say it too, man. So no worries there.
Hey, that muscle memory is going to kick in, that's for sure. Again, Mike from Mike and the Moonpies, which is now Silverada. Man, thank you so much for checking in and giving us a little insight as to what you guys have been up to and getting us kind of stoked and pumped up about the big show. Again, they're playing Silverada at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo coming up on Sunday. That's a noon show at the Frostbank Center. How excited are you to be playing on Super Bowl Sunday?
Oh, that's cool, man. And we're, we play early in the day, so I'm still going to watch the Super Bowl at night, man. So it couldn't have worked out better in our opinion.
Heck yeah, man. Well, hope all your Uvalde friends come out to see you guys at the big old rodeo. Mike, give us the best URL for the website and any socials you want to plug.
Well, we are now at Silverada.com, so that's really, really easy. Everything else is obviously changed over, man. So you go Silverada.com. It's got links to all of our stuff, and any name that you see hasn't been changed. I promise it will be soon, man. But we're Googleable at this point. So Silverada.com is your home base.
Man, Mike, thank you so much for all your time here today. We look forward to seeing you at the rodeo this coming on Sunday. Again, I don't have the brand new stuff, but I promise you I'm going to get my hands on it. Meanwhile, we're going to play the latest thing I have, which is Hour on the Hour. This is Silverada, formerly Mike and the Moonpies on Uvalde Radio. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on, man. I'm going to get you that new stuff when we get off the phone.
Very good.
It's another